west of the Rockies. You're on the air.
Hi, my name's Raymond.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend named Gary, and he told me this story, so this is secondhand. But he has three friends, Steve and Vern and Kim. And his friend Vern had been depressed for a couple of years and had been talking about suicide. So, and he hadn't seen him for a while, so Vern said, can I come over? And he came over, and they hung out together. Mm-hmm. And then Vern drove away that night, and he didn't see him for a few days. And then he had this dream. And in the dream, this is my friend's name is Gary, and he hears, Gary. And he's like, who's that? Who's that? And he looks up in the window, and here's Vern. Vern's in the window, and he's going, Gary. And Gary's like, oh, wow, what's Vern doing in the window? And then Vern says, bury me. And Gary, at this point, freaks out, and he wakes up, you know.
I didn't quite get it. Was it bury me?
Bury me, yeah.
Bury me, oh.
In a really scary voice.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up, and anyway, the next night he has the same dream. Gary. And at this point he's thinking, I don't want to look at the window. I don't want to look at the window, but he has to look at the window. You know how dreams are. And there's Vern, and Vern's like, Gary, bury me. And Gary wakes up, you know, and he's terrified. And this goes on for, a few months, and he's, starting to lose sleep. He talks to his friend Steve, and Steve tells him, I've been having these dreams.
Oh, my God.
And by this time, Vern hasn't shown up. Vern's gone. He's just disappeared. And the police have been looking for him and stuff. And Steve says, yeah, I had this dream. And Vern came to me and said, Steve. And I look up, and he's in the window. And there's Vern, and he says,
bury me.
Bury me.
Let me jump to the conclusion. This friend of yours did commit suicide and was later found?
He did commit suicide. And then they talked to their third friend, Kim, and Kim was like,
similar
God,
dreams.
I've been having the dreams too.
Got it. And so this friend actually did commit suicide? Did they finally find the body?
And in each dream, as the months went by, he looked more and more like ugly and decomposing, and after a while there was fungus all over his face and like slime and decay, and he just got more and more messed up, and after I was like, bury me.
I got it. All right.
It's horrible. This is a true story. And so finally, the next door neighbor came home up to his vacation house next door to Gary's house and pulled into the driveway, and here was Vern's car. And he had a hose going from the exhaust pipe up into the cabin of the car.
And how much time had passed since he committed suicide?
6 months.
Oh, my God. So this decomposing guy was entering the dreams of his friends, begging to be buried. Well, they do tell these stories about suicide, don't they?